Salute guys. Jibrumas back with another public service announcement. I don't know if you guys are feeling good this morning. Salute guys. Jibrumas back with another public service announcement. The mayor is in the building, and I'm going to allow the gentleman here to introduce himself. How are you doing, sir?
I'm excellent. Before I introduce myself,
Yes, go for
I
it.
want to make a point.
Please make the point.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I don't think people realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
When we write history,
Yes.
we go into the archives,
Mm.
right? At UCT, UWC, wherever.
Yes.
We go into the archives and we find the story to write.
Yes.
So when we're no longer here, many children will be going into the archives in podcasts
Yes.
and they will Google Mr. Mayor. So my name is Mr. Charles, and I am an educator on
Yes.
TikTok and offline as well.
Yeah.
And I feel I must give you your flowers.
No, I appreciate that. Thank
but
you.
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So what I have here, Mr. Mayor?
What?
Yeah, I brought you flowers, man.
So that's what it is. Charles taking it to the next level here. My bro.
Hey, bro, this is for you, my bro. Much respect.
Yo, listen here, no.
Huh?
I've only been gifted on the podcast, no. Twice, and I got the medal, no.
Why?
Once, no. Someone said, "I'm giving you a medal for your hard work, and it's the greatest podcast." And there I got my flowers. So lots of people out there have the notion when someone says, "You bro, they never give me my flowers." So Charles just showed us right here. This is what happens, bro. You really got me my flowers, my bro. Good man. I appreciate that.
Honor,
You know, before I even go further, a friend of mine, I had this discussion with the other day, and he kind of echoed similar sentiments. He was like, you know what, Maya, you don't realize what it is that you're doing. You're documenting stories that's going to stand the test of time. And I sat and thought about it, and because I never looked at it like it. I was like, you know what, my let's say my be all and end all of why I do what I do was essentially to
Absolutely.
educate people and to show them the stories that you don't know about, or if you want to know more about it, this is not just the ABC one. This is like, let's understand why things are the way it is. It's to give you a better understanding. So I'm gonna say in some ways I feel like I'm an educator as well,
Absolutely.
but my platform is to educate you here.
Absolutely. In a classroom, there's only one facet,
Yes.
right? Come to school, that's more systematic. But we learn every day.
Every day, 100%.
We learn from people every day. So it's lifelong learning. So that's the idea, and many have this idea that when you go to school, you learn, and when you get home, you put down your bag, because
Because clearly, yes.
it's lifelong learning. You learn every day. You learn about feelings, you learn about expressions, you learn about emotion, you learn about circumstances. We are always learning. But the problem is, you must be receptive.
You must be receptive to
You
those
must
learners.
be
Yes.
receptive. Lifelong learning, bro.
Look, I mean, we kind of had a little bit of discussion. I mean, 8 years inside the educational field and things like that. Born and raised in Manenberg.
Absolutely.
So now you look at Manenberg as an area. I mean, obviously, with some people want to stigmatize
Yeah.
different places on the Cape Flats. I mean, we always know that in any low income communities, or let's say places that have socioeconomic difficulties, the main thing that always stands out is always going to be the same topic that we've heard now for the last 100 years. It's drugs, it's gangsterism, unemployment. And let's say unemployment being the bigger bridge as to why the others exist. And then you look, I don't want to take it deeper. We could though, and we'd be like, okay, the way the system of apartheid that put out people in different places, and due to those reasons, you are forced into certain situations. Then you go out. So why do people join gangs? Why are people doing drugs? And then you go back like, okay, nobody's working. Again, not solely to blame, but there are so many factors aggravating for you to send you in that direction, as opposed to saying like are there enough opportunities? Again, the same thing. You have to be receptive.
Yeah.
The opportunities come around, or you taking it or not? Because I mean, you're a product of the same place, and you can also say, look, but I didn't turn out that way. I'm not a victim of circumstance. However, not everybody's as strong. So we also have to think about that, and like upbringing, the homes. What's the environment? Is your mom on drugs? Is your dad on drugs? Does your dad drink? Was your father a gangster? So
Yeah.
why you choose a certain way you go?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, all that mouthful just to say, I mean, that's where you come from. You're an educator. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
I had an absolutely incredible mother.
Yes.
I'm a grown man.
What's your mom's name while we're here?
Elaine Charles.
Elaine Charles, shout out to you. You've raised an
Single parent.
exceptional young man. Yeah.
Single. I have a twin brother as well.
Okay.
And I have a baby sister, Kiara Charles. My mom is absolutely incredible lady. I'm a grown man. I'm an educator. I'm a father as well. Ik is bang, my ma. Ik is bang. I'm scared to this day of. I'm scared of my mom, and my mom made us watch how fellow gang members were beating up their own.
Yes.
So we were about 13, 14 years old, and then my mom told us, Cameron, come and watch what is happening to those guys.
Yes.
So if you're going to follow in those footsteps, your own members from the same gang
Yes.
is going to beat you up. And that's exactly what happened. And ironically and strangely, I don't understand. After the beating, then they will salute
Yes.
the people for their beating. So tayo was sa nimo.
Yes.
So that for me was a mind shift.
Look, I mean, now, at the time of where you what was there some sort of initiation? Was there some sort
No.
of discipline? Now, I'm asking. I'm interested to know, like,
Yeah.
what was the context of the beating up and then saying thank you? You know what I mean?
So in Menenberg, people rarely go to the police.
Yes.
Right? It is sorted out internally
Yes.
by the gang. So if a fellow gang member stole or whatever he did, the first point of call is the leader.
Yes.
Right? You go to the leader, listen, DO, het gesteel, het ingebreek. And then they will take it further.
Okay.
Many times after the beating, you must salute the gang
Yes.
for what happened. Now that for me, experience, imagine Mr. Meyer,
Yes.
13, 14, just up in school, to see that,
Mm.
it is traumatizing.
Yes.
And my mom, very astutely, very smartly,
Yes.
made us watch that.
And I
To
mean,
this day.
so I mean,
Yeah.
in retrospect, you can say, because I mean the certain lessons that
Absolutely.
she showed you, or like to see these things through your young eyes, is obviously to give you a different, like, complete, like, mind change. Like, is this the kind of thing I would want to be part of? You know what I mean? You sit there and your introspection is like, well, if that happens, I don't think this is something fitting for me.
Exactly. And remember, as a single parent, so my mom had to play both roles. Right? My mom had to be the mom and the dad. So for her to be able to rear twins
Yes.
in that context, being a single parent, incredible. Man.
And
Utmost
now,
respect.
I mean, is it one of the reasons that you became an educator, or tell me, like, why was this your career path?
Initially, I wanted to be a lecturer.
Yes.
Right? I wanted to go into the scientific academia field.
Okay.
And then I did all, I mean, the studies. I did an undergrad at UWC.
Yes.
I've been to Norway. I've studied there as well. And then I taught at a school for the first time, and I fell in love. Because at the university, you don't have that empathetic approach with the learner.
Yes.
Right? It's very. This is
Here's your
student,
week.
yeah.
Go on.
You
Yes.
go on. At school, strangely enough, you fall in love with circumstances.
Mm.
Die kind kry swaar, maar die kind is brilliant.
Yes.
Ooh, Mr. Meyer,
Yeah.
I'm motivated. I'm motivated. Die kind kry swaar. Adverse circumstances.
Imagine the same person in a
Yo,
different situation.
I fall in love
Yes.
with that type of context, man. Because now, in spite of your adversity, you can be resilient.
Yes.
You understand? So at school, you have that factor. And
Which grade are you currently teaching?
12, man.
Grade 12,
Yeah.
right now. Look, I don't want you to like leave anyone out here, but I mean, like, is there a certain class, or some students, or certain
You want me
yeah. I'm sorry, man, because everyone's gonna say sir, but
Okay, no problem.
I saw sir was there on the podcast, sir didn't gonna say shout out to 12D or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, so like some of the students or the class that you taught, like who, like some of the classes that you really enjoy.
11A, 11B, 12A, 12B, and 12C. That's all my classes. I'm covered.
All the classes. Okay, fantastic. And then I'm taking a step further. This is a bit of a cutting edge show in terms of the questions we ask. I'm gonna go a step further. Who do you think is your top 3 students of all time right now?
By name.
By name?
So, right now, or past students?
No, right now. Like.
No, I mean, it's only February.
Okay,
so
okay. Let's say past it. Okay,
yeah,
let's say
to
past.
determine. Top. Number 1, Omalola.
Omalola.
Number 2, Asipe Matroko.
Okay, Asipe Matroko.
And number 3, Miguel. Currently, he's a current student.
Miguel.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I asked this because this is now to echo the sentiments that you were just talking about a couple of seconds ago about situations, circumstances.
Yeah.
If you look at some of these students, do any of them have a backstory? You don't have to divulge all the information about these stories, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like it's not
Rosie.
rosy. You know what I mean? It's not ideal, but I mean, yet through that adversity, you still shining. So, like, what are some of the things that you've personally seen that you've been touched by?
But you know what? This last week, obviously, I won't mention the name. Last week, I'm in. Learner was doing the homework. Right?
Yes.
I went around, and then there's one learner didn't do the homework. Now imagine it's 14 in the class.
Yes.
39 completed the homework, but not you. Just stand 8.
Yes.
Now obviously, I'm like, my dear, where's my where's my work? Where's my? They come back and tell you in class. I said, okay, please, outside, just wait outside for me. My dear, where's my homework?
Yes.
Guess her response. So you know what? I'm hungry. I didn't eat for 2 days.
Wow.
That was the response. I can't concentrate. I'm hungry, sir. I'm sitting at the back. I'm dizzy. I didn't eat for 2 days. I told her, my dear, come to me after school. Come to me after school. It's fine. Leave the homework. Come to me after school. And then obviously
Yes.
I helped her. But I mean, we don't know.
You never know. Yes.
What you see in class is not the reality. I can laugh, I can smile, I can spiel. You don't know the
The
underlying
trauma, the things, the life, the circumstances. Yes.
trauma, Mr. Meyer, that what our kids go through. That is why I'm always so, excited when I see learners doing well.
Yeah.
And learners trying and they're pushing and they're motivated in spite of adversities.
Yes.
Die for my motivation.
No, 100%. And I mean, I've seen this time and time again. Some of the very dear friends I have even today that I've known some for many years.
Yeah.
Some not even long enough. It's people that I realized were allowed to, like, they never let those adversities like trample over them. And I think that, like, to be that resilient, to be this kind of people for me is amazing, because even myself, like, there were many situations in my life. I go back and I think about it. I'm like, where I was like, yo, like, I'm going through this and this, but in spite of all that, I said, you know what, I still have dreams. And I have goals, and this is what I want to achieve. I mean, it's not like ek sê die mense altyd man, ek was self aan die ghetto en
Yeah.
bro man, ek het self opgegroeid. It's not like it wasn't a reality for me. I've seen these things with my own eyes. I've got friends, family members, that have all become victims of the system.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen. I've had some of my best friends become drug addicts, prison number gangsters, part of street gangs, some living on the streets. Like, I pass them even now. I'm sure you even have some friends. Then you pass them by, you're like, yeah, dat bra was nogal in my school en ons was nogal saam. Ons was brasse wat ons klein gewees het, and now you see sleeping on the field, or hy skiet nou gun for die. But it's not like you also understand like what happened there. And not everybody can weather the storms of life.
You know what I find amazing? So we also have a night school,
Yes.
right? The Hopeful Leaders Night School.
Okay.
In Manenberg and elsewhere now. We have 7 bronzes. Man. It's crazy. So, Mr. Meyer, I have ex-convicts in my
Yes.
class.
Okay.
Sitting there. Meneer, matriek meneer, man. It's either they're unemployed
Yes.
or they are employed but they are stagnated. Like, you can't move to,
Yes.
for the post. Meneer, I'm struggling. I need matriek. And remember, it's only the entry.
Yes. The matric.
It's only the entry, but yet it is so important. So at the Hopeful Leaders Night School, we have mommies and daddies and grannies and grandmothers
Yes.
attending school to complete matric. My mom is doing a matric. I'm teaching her.
That's amazing. Wow.
The first lesson.
What a full circle
look
moment.
at, look at the first lesson is so awkward.
Yes.
Your ma staat in die banken. Sy is voor. Do you know how awkward that is?
I can imagine.
My mom was the one. Cohen, come. Math. English.
Yes.
Ik is nou, mommy, your homework.
Yes, I didn't know. Mommy, is your homework done? Did you do your homework?
Mom, homework. Klaar gemaakt? Yes, okay, good.
Yes. Okay.
So for me, it is surreal, man.
Yes.
So we have adults at the night school. We have adults. We have learners. We have liquor.
And I even have some friends of mine that also, like, one of the prerequisites for getting the certain job
Yeah.
was like you needed to have matric.
Yep.
And I mean, again, despite it all, they were like, you know what, I'm gonna go complete it. I mean, these are grown people as well. Already. They have children already. They've worked jobs before,
Absolutely.
and going out to do this thing, even like some people, I get it. Some people are but shy to do it. Some people feel like, "Suma, nee, wat
Yes,
gaat die
yes,
mense
yes,
dink?"
yes, yes,
I would
yes.
go out in a limb and say to any single person watching this, like, if you have an opportunity or those opportunities, like the night, the help that you guys have right now, if these programs exist, why not?
Look at
Go for it. Like whatever people think doesn't
Mr.
matter.
Maya, a granny part of the bachelor.
That's
It's
amazing.
a you. What you're doing, you are inspiration to your children, your
Yes.
grandchildren. They can do it too. You understand? So the first, obviously, it's awkward. It's uncomfortable, right? But that's part of the process. Huh? Stick it through. Just be consistent and stick it through. Promise you, you will reap the benefits.
100%. And I mean, you English educator
Yeah.
at school right now and all that. And so now, did you along the way decide that this was something that you'd want to do in terms of the actual subject you're teaching currently? Was this initially? I know you said a lecturer initially, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the subject that you're currently teaching, was it something up your alley that you
I
wanted to do?
love the subject, man. I love it. Literature, for example, right? So what I'm doing, my TikTok followers, um, like this small clips I have on TikTok where I would maybe do Life of Pi
Yes.
or Hamlet, right? So I love the fact that we have one book, but have so many different interpretations of the same thing.
Of the same thing, yes.
So in class as well, I'm fascinated. What do you see that I don't see? Because I
Yes.
know pi, right? I know cover to cover. Anything you can ask me. But how did you come up with that explanation? Explain to me, my dear.
Yes.
For me, that's fascinating. But now you're 40 in a class, 40 different explanations. You understand?
Yes.
So for me, English, absolutely. I love literature, language, not so much. But literature and the writing, I love it as well, man.
No, 100%. Look, my father's a retired teacher.
Yes, yes, yes. I know.
So I
English?
mean
Why?
English and Afrikaans. So I mean I grew up helping my daddy mark some scripts even. I'm talking about a good couple of years
Yeah,
ago. Like
man.
I was probably at high school myself
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
So we're talking about a lekker paar years ago, you know. And then my dad used to have like all these reams of all the children's scripts. But this is like near holiday time
Yeah.
and he needs to mark. Pops gives me the memorandum. He's like, here's the memorandum. He says, you go through it and you mark it. So I recall like walking through it and obviously going through it so vigorously. I was like, okay, this verkeerd, this verkeerd, this verkeerd. Then my father, being the educator, said, pause here, come here. This again to on what you just said.
Yeah.
He's like, can you see the child made an attempt to answer something?
Ooh.
Can you see that this is the answer? Yes. We can't say
Yes.
it's wrong because remember this is also subjective on how this
Very
person
true.
read it. So you can't give a note mark when someone was trying to explain something. Okay, ek gaan nie lieg, I was 'n klomp kakkoek aan. So I was but now this is grade 11 me saying, but daddy, what kak is this? He's like, I know as an educator we have to say like, no, but
Professional, yeah.
there was a attempt and there was a try
Yeah.
and I get that and then but then I also go, this is me having the conversation with my father who's the educator. So I said, but daddy, but what kind of learners are we then trying to raise? Because I've seen so many children come out of school and I look at my time and I look at now, I can't say what any difference, but I'm just telling you what I see
Okay.
is sometimes the caliber of the student is not necessarily the same. You the educator, you know, right? This is just me from the outside perspective. I don't see. If I'm going to give you a mark, right, for an attempt, which I do understand is how the system works, me, in my mind, I go, are we okay with celebrating mediocrity?
Mm. Mm.
But I understand the professionalism part. Don't get me wrong. Like I could be the educator as well. I'm like, I get it. Like you are trying. So I don't just want to knock you down and say, because I obviously want to inspire you to keep learning.
I get you.
But do I say, ek klop kakkie geskryf wat okay, jy het getry. Gee op 5 punte.
So what type of learner?
You know what I
Right?
mean?
Point to making
Do you know what I mean?
the quality of the learner.
Yes. So now, what kind of people are we sending out into the workforce? Because now, I mean, I've worked in so many different fields, from like I said, from television to radio, to newspapers. I've been on air, I've been behind the mic, I've
Yeah.
been in front of the mic, I've been
Yeah.
behind the camera, and these are skills I obviously had to go learn over and over again, like in order to get good at it. Because I was poor at all of them when I started, and as anyone is, but now I go. how do I have 12 matrics in my midst and none of them can read? Then I say, then how did you pass matric? And again, this is again not a this is accurate things that we have to speak about. Because now you go into a workplace and say, Lees gaan dit hou, boo. Then you say, what if I'm like, I don't even want to mimic it now. I'm just like, now you read it, but I was like, do you understand what you just read there? And then it's like, no, but then I go, what's happening in schools? It's not the teacher's fault. It's not anyone's fault. I mean, again, we can go back to circumstances. But now, what do we do?
And understand one thing, that we as educators, we are under instruction,
Okay.
right? From the higher.
Yes.
The higher superior is under instruction as well. That person is under instruction. So if you trail and if you follow, it will take you to the top,
Yes.
right? So this idea, it stems from the top. The system, it is, I'm sorry to say that, it is rotten. And I've studied in South Africa and abroad. I've been to Norway.
Yes.
In South Africa, it is about the problem. We are gleeful and joyful when we identify the problem. In Norway, Mr. Meyer, I promise you, it is solution based.
Yes.
Solution. So identify the problem. How do we fix this? Here's an issue. How do we fix this? Now, if you look at the subjects, right? In this country, you can get 80% for history without understanding the history of the country. So all you do is you study, you cram, and you regurgitate.
Regurgitate that.
That's
Yeah.
how. You can get 80% for history
Yes.
without understanding the history of South Africa. The moment I ask you a question, my boy, what happened in whenever, you unable to explain.
Yes.
Now that's a problem there. There's a loophole in the system.
Yes.
And that is why when our children do math and physics and life sciences, they struggle. Because why? They must solve a problem.
You must solve a problem. You can't just regurgitate facts.
And that's a big issue. That is why I love English, because it is so subjective. Try to find the solution. Find the solution. In Norway, Mr. Meyer, I get there.
Yes.
No? First class, I have 2 lecturers, I have 2 professors. We're about 10 in class. The quality of students in that class, I was mind blown. Those people, they were published authors. One guy said, yeah, I've been all around the world, I'm publishing, I'm a conference. The other one introduced himself. He said, yeah, I'm in Germany next week, then I must go to Dubai to do a conference. I must introduce myself. Good day, my name is Gowan, I'm from Menenberg. Klar. So that's the point I want to make.
Again, I mean, then I mean, if we go back to your original opening statement about what you were discussing about things like circumstances, obviously it's Norway, which means it's a first world country.
Absolutely.
Which means the certain factors that our kids face here is not what they
Very
face.
different.
So I mean, if they say, I'm not, I speak under correction. I mean, I don't know exactly. I can't say for a fact. Say like when you say we don't have, it means you don't have an extra holiday house. When we say we don't have, as fokol kos in die huisie,
Yeah.
as fokol krag in die huisie,
Yeah.
as niemand, there's no breadwinner, ons is almal honger. So now you look at the differences in the world, which I get, but again, I don't want to labor too much on that. My main point or question to you is not with your learners, just a general consensus of what's happening inside the teaching or school system right now. Sit ons net die kinders oor because we need more people. We need space for more people. Yes, we are prioritizing marks, and you want your class to do this, and everybody's competing in some way. But
It's quality over quantity. It's a numbers game.
now that's what I was trying to get at.
And there's a system in place
Yes.
called the years in phase.
Okay.
It's called YIP, where a learner is only allowed to fail once in a phase. And subsequently, guess what must happen? Let's go over.
You must go over.
You see? Because to make place for that. So we have it's a system in place. It's a system in place. Now, many learners, they exploit this.
Because they know this.
They know this. Why must I work? Ik ga ook op laat word. And that's the problem.
Wow. That's
That's the problem.
But now, okay, then I want to go out on a limb here. This is me speaking specifically to those learners or any learners that have a keen understanding to this. Like, you are not going to be equipped for the real world and the working life if you don't do the work. There are reasons why you have to do all these
Yes.
things, and it's a means of opening your mind to different things. Because the thing is, if I'm just going to put you over every year, ik kan me nou nie fucking dink wat 'n soort learner gaan te get. Again, I can't say it's solely their fault, but now when you go out into the world and it's like, I need this job, I want to get this, I want to earn this, because they all have dreams. I'm sure you're looking at people that have cars, you a
Yeah, yeah,
flashy lifestyle, and let's say these are things that people buy into. How are you gonna come out there if like that's like you aren't able to even operate? You know what I mean?
I think this is it's a deep question, and we need to look at it holistically.
Mm.
Number one, the subjects,
Yes,
right? It's not accommodative to all our learners.
100%.
You know where we sliced? We took out the woodwork
Okay.
and the tiling and those practical subjects.
Yeah.
There, we made a mistake.
Mm.
Because now this learner is unable to read, but they can be, it's classable.
No, I know this.
So that's the issue. We have theory subjects, English, Afrikaans, history, life science. That's only directed to a certain group.
You know what this reminds me of?
Huh?
What's that saying now, man? If you judge a fish on his ability to climb a
Einstein.
tree,
Yeah, but
no,
that's science club, yeah.
no, that's like, because not everyone is that way inclined. Some people are practical. Some people work great with their hands, and I get
Absolutely.
that. Can I open another point here?
Go for
Is
it.
it like, how can I say, how would I say this now, man? I'm trying to say this in the best way possible, man.
Go for it, man.
But anyways,
Broken English is fine, I understand.
no, no, it's not about being broken English, man. It's like,
Yeah.
let's say these learners, right, are being taught all the stuff, will be able to regurgitate the stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is the stuff that they learn.
Yeah.
Remember, this is now my own personal opinion.
Go for
I
it.
I finished high school a good amount of years ago, and I passed matric, and I did all that. Lots of what I also learned in school, I don't use today.
Use. It's futile.
So now I go,
Why?
this is not me saying school doesn't matter, doesn't, because unfortunately the system is designed in such a way that you have to finish school in order to get into wherever you want to go to. It's the same the way, like, if you want to buy a house, you need to get in debt. So say, Wally, you don't actually want to get in debt, but I wouldn't know. So now I go, when I was at school, why didn't they teach me that this is how you need to take out the bond? Maybe I'm not doing business, but I'm just saying in general. Like, the actual things I need. Ik moet mijn ID gaan maken, ik mijn license gaan maken, ik moet een account gaan opmaken. This is how I start the business. And the best way I wanted to say is that I feel like schooling systems, township to the Cape Flats, is teaching the kids to become workers instead of actual bosses or owners.
I concur with you fully.
You do? Okay.
concur.
So then I go, like, why are we not teaching them to become business owners? Why are we not saying, yeah, so you guys on TikTok as well, make it a business then. You great at selling sweets, start a shop. You know? I go back in time, and I think to myself, I had a friend of mine, he's currently at UWC, and I was like, brother, so what are you gonna study? He says, no, I'm gonna study business. I said, that's interesting. Why do you want to study business? Because I would like to know. This is me asking as a friend. He says, I want to study business. I said, why? Because I want to be a business person.
Okay.
I said, cool, I got it. What do you want to do? I want to sell clothes. So, okay, interesting. Are you making clothes right now? No, I don't know how to sell clothes, but I have a friend that sells clothes. I said, okay, this is me. And then, look, I could be wrong, but this is just my point of view. I said, so you will spend 100,000 rand to go study to learn how to make clothes, or to get the knowledge on how to do this thing properly. And obviously, you want to know every facet of your business, and I get that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
many things that you need to know, the accounting part, the admin part. I get that. I say, how about save yourself some of the time, eh? Go to your friend that has the business already, learn how to do it, use that same money, invest that capital into starting that business.
Quite.
By next week, use that same 100,000 to create the business, because right now, some of the richest people, or people that had not completed the studies, are completely different to what they studied, because they later found out this is not their passion. Even with universities, I go, am I also just teaching you to become a what's the name? A worker? Or am I teaching you to become a boss? Like, I feel like our people need to realize that
You know what that is? What we
this is
call
a controversial thing to say to a teacher, but you get
no,
what
no, no.
I'm saying.
No, look here, I concur with you.
Yes.
I'm very open minded, and I've spoken about this before. This idea has been reinforced by,
Yes.
you understand? So you go to school, you go to university. That's a tradition.
Yes.
Understand? And this tradition is primordial
Yes.
Primordialism is like a old primitive. No,
Yes.
we're on TikTok
Like
now.
gelukkig is outdates.
Outdates, man.
Yes.
We're on TikTok now. Right?
Yes.
Education is it's on your phone. Right? University. Why? So when you're not accepted, how do you feel? You're smarky, leave. No, there are different avenues. That's only one facet.
Yes.
And I've spoken to parents about this. You're putting pressure on on your child. You know what? Status.
Yes.
It's the status.
Nee,
Bacon.
my con
Oh, UCT.
hy is die eerste jaar in matriek. Hy's
Yes, yes,
UCT
yes.
nou, hy's 'n engineer.
We need to move away
But,
from that.
then I was gonna, my big but is again, I do know people that were brilliant at school and that finished brilliantly, that went to go study in their fields and that are excelling at amazing levels. I got friends that are engineers, I got
yes.
friends that are lawyers, I got friends that are doctors. I mean, some are doing marine biologies
Wow.
and they love the fields that they're in, and I see them and I go,
It's one,
you finish school. So I'm just saying, let's say they are the what you call it now. They are the few that got away. You know what I mean? No? But they did it. So again, I don't want to be adverse to the fact that you can go study and you can become great if you have the passion. You're gonna become great at that thing. It can be fuck the engineers. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's my point, but that's not the only route.
Yes, that's not the only route.
You
Is
understand?
yes,
There are different avenues. Look, Mr. Mayor, if you have this thing, you have power. You have power. You are able to make money if you
Yes.
know how. If you are smart, you are able to sustain yourself and your family if you are equipped with skill. So I want us to move away. If you are able to pay for the fees, go do you. But do not be despondent if it's not working out for you.
100%.
As an educator, and I know we push this idea, you must go to university next year. There are different avenues as well.
Look now more than ever. Like I'm
Yes.
talking about right now more than ever. Because look, if I go back to the early 2000s when I finished school, this was not the world yet. You know, no. Like I mean you probably come from like a
Yes,
similar time.
similar time.
If you go all the way back in time, then you think to yourself, but I was next TikTok wat ek klaar met school. Like there was like yeah, was it maar later aan by die mix het gekom. You know what I mean? Like I mean if you look at that stuff, but I mean it wasn't a viable option to make money. I recall this was happening. I had a conversation with my dad as well, who's obviously an educator, and I was like, my dad was like, no, listen here, you need to make sure you get all your papers so you can have your degree
Yeah,
and all that stuff. I said, this is while I'm busy with the work that I'm doing, that I was busy doing at the time. I said, Daddy, I understand what you want me to do, but I'm currently more I guess overqualified in the field that I'm in because I actually have the practical
Experience.
experience. Like I don't like every. It's crazy because now you finish school, you studied engineering, you studied law, whatever. Now they say yes, but you need experience. Now it boggles my mind how you are supposed to have experience. Yes, I get that you can go intern and you can go job shadow and get that, but I mean to have the practical
Practical experience.
that you want for this company while having just studied. Say no, sorry, we can't take you. You overqualified. You know all this, but you don't have no experience. Now, who the fuck moet ek study and experience it and be able to equip? So now you go, what's going on here? Then again, I digress completely. Now you got things like nepotism that also happens. Now, I don't want to bring the big N into this.
The inward.
The inward. So now you get things like nepotism. Now I go like, this fucking lady knows nothing. His daddy just told him, just go do a quick BCom. You're gonna run the company next year. Again, these are things that happen. Or now I said, who do I know?
It's rotten. Huh?
Look here, now look at the whole thing. That's who do you know? It's like, okay, right though. Hy's klaar met sy engineering course, hy's klaar lawyer, hy's 'n dokter, hy's 'n teacher, weet jy wat? Ek het nog hulle bra Jeremy. Jeremy, as 'n pos vir jou. Ek het die twee mense wat gee die pos vir Jeremy is met my bra man. Nou, hy kan nou week by ons. Hey, is 'n bietjie kak, but I can wait. But I'm saying these also things that happen.
That's evident in the townships. You will see that people who live close by will work in the same company. Just notice that. I should.
Yes.
So it's evident. Nepotism. Lay naman. Nah, just on. You understand? So just watch in the township.
I hope you don't get in trouble for this interview. Because I'm speaking. Look at this is the conversation.
Your point of view.
Yeah, I'm having this conversation about like how I see the world, and I know to some people it might seem a little bit extreme or different, but for me, this is someone that sits and looks at things critically. I'm like, that fucking doesn't make sense.
What we're doing is we are provoking the masses. Think about what you're thinking about.
Yes.
We are provoking the masses. There's a status quo that's in place, right? And it's always when you deviate, then it is known. When you follow the masses, it's not known. So what
Yes.
we're doing now, and that is why I made the point. What you're doing is you are creating an archive.
Yes.
You are provoking. So now this, someone will be like, yo, has it?
Yes.
You understand? So it is provocative, but it must be told.
It must be told.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Because, like, look at this is me talking to the money. Just my bro, I guess if you quiet something, my bro, pursue that
Go
thing,
for it.
bro. Like, if you have the means, if you have a phone, if you have an internet
Yeah.
connection, and like, maybe if you're good at woodwork, maybe start making the chairs tomorrow. In fact, by next week you might have your own furniture store. What I'm trying to say is we need to get people who actually have these skills. Because now I ask some people, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember when we were young, when we were in primary school, what do you want to grow up? I said, "No, I want to be astronaut. I want
Yeah.
to be the president.
Yeah.
I want to be a marine biologist.
Yeah.
Me personally, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Okay.
This is something I wanted to study myself. And again, my dad also told me, how about studying law? How about become a lawyer? And I thought about all of these things. And we were young, hopeful learners, and we all thought like we were gonna do these amazing things. And then when life actually happens, like okay, so say we clicks. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying. In class, you said I want to be an astronaut. I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
I want to be a world class athlete. JV Gabri Nike store, JV Kup Tekkies. Nothing wrong. But I'm saying if you're gonna juxtapose that with the actual things that you wanted to do, now I go, we so far removed from those things because life is life in.
I think because of the intervention as well, we react too late. We react in grade 12.
Yes.
So it's the last year. Hoe mami, wat ga ik nou doen?
Wat ga ik nou doen?
Primary school. Grade 4. Grade 5, grade 6. There we must have our intervention. What do you want to become? Talk to a doctor. Okay, so these different types of doctors, which one? And now you teach and you train the mind in that way. Okay? So you provide that primary school learner with the experience of helping someone. For
Look
example.
at I
So
said
it's about molding the brain. In grade 12, I'm sorry, it's too late.
yes.
It's too late.
If I look, that's what I'm telling.
Intervention.
This is what I'm telling you. When I get youngsters today, I say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I say, "I want money." I say, "What do you want?" I want to drive a Porsche and I want to have a big house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I go, so what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I don't know, fuck, just what's
Yeah.
something that can bring me money.
Yeah.
So like it seems like we're disconnecting with like career paths and it's solely just become I need money. I want money. Wat wil jy doen vir ek weet nie, maar ek soek geld.
Do you think it's based on the context they come from?
Could be. I would say yes.
Because of the unemployment, the motivation is money.
Yes.
So I don't care. I'm getting the money.
I just want money.
I want to. I want to.
Ek
I
soek
want
geld.
money.
Ek soek 'n nuwe Jordans, ek soek 'n nuwe baadjie. Ek wil like tangie, ek wil like I mean, this is not that doesn't go for everyone
Yeah,
because,
yeah, yeah.
because then you get people that really have keen interest in something, you know what I mean? Like if you love art, you want to be an artist. Again, I think let's say not say wealth, but like having being a certain setting of a person in this world allows you to do more things. Like if I love doing art and my mense het klaar geld, ek moet vir heel dag fucking verf. You know what I mean? But if I have to paint to sustain my life, it's a very different thing. So I'm not painting for love. Yes, I am painting for love because I love to paint, but I'm painting for survival. My bro, ek moet nou die ding klaar maak vanaand, bro. Die ding kan ek verkoop vir 350 môre.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who comes from a better social standing where it's like, ek kan paint die kna en ek kan sommer daai ding gooi aan en nog jy doen later. But I don't want to make it solely about the black or colored experience, but again, these are the audiences I speak to as well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like, how do you, like, how do we get out of survival mode?
You need to equip yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not anti-university,
Yes.
please, but a computer course. It's compulsory. The basics. How to type. Basta may how to the computer. Die kinders weet om aan te sit.
Yes.
At school. So where's the on button?
Okay.
How to type a CV, how to send an email. These, you need to equip yourself. A computer course, all right? Then short courses. You don't need a fancy, Harvard degree that's on the wall. Short courses, multiple different
Yes.
courses. Build your CV, equip yourself.
Look here, I don't wanna sound like all doom and gloom now about something.
Pessimistic.
But I'm actually not a pessimist.
Okay.
I'm an optimist,
You're optimist,
on,
okay.
on all levels.
Okay.
But I do find myself sometimes sitting saying, this is me honestly. Ons land is in sy poes. Mind my French.
Yeah.
These are these are what I think sometimes. Because now, everything that we've said, and then you look at the price of life. I'm just talking about day to day stuff. Even I mean the bridge between the rich and the poor is coming. I don't even know that they're trying to basically abolish the middle class. It's like we get to the point where either
Yeah.
just rake or just aram.
Yeah.
You look at the rates. You look at how much people are currently paying for rates today. You look at groceries. What you're gonna get from 2,000 rand today versus what you got for 2,000 rand 10 years ago, and we understand. And now you're like, but no. How does someone like if money is your motive and not just passion on what you want to do? How do you become sustaining in this country with the level of education we have, with the level of jobs we have, and the pay? Like, I mean, there's some people that are currently finished with school right now, working in call centers, earning 12,000 rand, earning 13,000 rand. I go, 3 children, 4 children, 13,000 rand at a job today buys you what? Again, it's not saying that that's not good enough, but I mean, jy ken mos die prys van die lewe.
So again, it goes back to the ground root, man. We need to introspect
Do,
and look at the system.
I know you understand the stuff I'm saying, like, and you get what I'm trying to say, 100%. And I look at the stuff, and I say, yo, but like, way too from here, you know what I mean? Nou die ander dag was die
being a
lig.
father as well. So you know, right?
Yes.
3 kids, huh?
Yes, 3. Nou die ander dag is die ligte weer af.
Yeah.
Sê hulle, and then now I believe there's going to be a 70% increase on
Before
in
that, yeah.
electricity on the from due from the 1st of April.
And you know why?
Uh,
You know why? My first point,
what?
we have people who are able to identify a problem
Yes.
and not solve it. And that's being romanticized. Ik weet wat die fout is. Okay, no problem.
Now what will we do about it?
Exactly. And that for me is education. The shift from identifying the problem to finding a practical solution that will sustain. That is education. Not this regurgitation.
Of dieselfde ding oor en oor.
Oor.
Look, and on what I'm saying is like, you know this, I know this, people watching this know this. This country is in debt.
Absolutely.
No? And this is why we have soaring prices on everything, because we are basically paying of us, normal taxpayers, normal people have to pay the brunt of the problems that is going on in the country as a whole. We are not the first world country. Yes, we have many amazing things, and there are many amazing programs, and there are many amazing institutions, schools, colleges, technicons that are doing amazing work with learners, and and really cultivating these supple minds. And I think it's amazing. And don't get me wrong, I just always go back to the drawing board about like those elements that exist that makes me go, ons nie kakken. Ons is nie kakken. Iko kakken. I look at it like that sometimes, you know what I mean?
And you know what? No? And I'm an educator. I love all my kids. But you sit and you think, yeah, I need to look after my family. Yo.
Yes.
I need to look after my daughter. My daughter's 5 years old. Yeah, I need to protect her. I need to sustain her. Right? Instead of, I want to save the world.
Yes. If you
Don't
okay,
think-
let me have you this here, when your daughter,
Yeah.
right now, right, growing up, what advice are you gonna give her for remove from you being a teacher as her daddy? What is your advice for her as she grows up now when it comes to things like education? What would you honestly tell her the best way forward for her?
So, my my daughter will obviously come from a place of privilege.
Yes.
Because I'm a father.
Yes.
Right? So, my advice would be, baby, the world is not your friend. The world is cruel, it is conniving. Listen to daddy. Follow my step. Find good role models. Find out what those people did and replicate. Because people are going to hurt you, and people are going to stab in the back. But how are you going to react? So where we come from, unfortunately, Charles Darwin, survival of the fittest. And if you do not have the
Adapt or die.
characteristics, if you do not have the characteristics, you will die.
Yes.
So equip yourself. Right? So luckily for her, I'm there. And that will give her a blueprint. What did daddy do?
Yes.
Okay, so daddy studied at this university. Then he did this, and now he's doing this. So there's a blueprint, right? So if you follow the blueprint, there's a high probability you will not fail.
Yes.
You will not go AWOL or to the left. But My daughter, and I always speak, she's 5 years old. I don't speak to my daughter like I speak to a baby.
Yes.
Gugu, ah. Like, no, sit down, Nusra, sit down. Listen to me very carefully. When you're in class, you listen to your teacher.
Mm.
Listen to the instruction. And my daughter will complete that word for me. Listen to the instruction. And if you want something, what must you do? You must raise your hand every single day. How many parents invest the time to do
You
that?
do that.
That's
No,
so important. You're setting the foundation.
and I get that, and when I agree with that. So I just have a question on that.
Go for it.
So, do we strip the child from their childlikeness,
Ooh.
like early, in order to equip them for the world? So, like, how do I look at my sons and say I still want you to be kids now, but knowing the fucking shit storm that's ahead of them now, versus saying, "Hello, jy moet nou so staan, jy moet so maak, jy moet hy study." Because remember, you go back in time, you say, yeah, my mom taught me this and this, but I mean, there was still an element of you being a child.
There we go.
So, as ons kinders nog altyd kinders vandag, o, kan ons hulle nog altyd op, like, raise them up to be children.
It is so difficult with what we have here. Oh my, ons kinders gou groot.
Yes.
Our children, they are, you, the rapid speed. I think that for me is crazy. The speed. If you, my daughter's smart.
Yes.
Many 5-year-olds, I mean, your sons, they are smart. They know how to navigate the world.
Yes.
And that for me is absolutely crazy. However, there's a cost. Childhood,
Yes.
those memories, Peter Spiel and his son running around at the park,
Yes.
that's been taken away.
And I mean, I could go out on a limb again and say like, yeah, but like I had this conversation with someone. Yeah, but it's the new world. It's where we love it today. I said, again, we can go what you said about Darwinism or the eugenics movement or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Darwinism. It's like it's adapt or die. Essentially, what it means is,
Go for it.
this is where we're at right now, and I'm so young, but I also don't want to still be so. Yeah, we didn't also da. But now this is who
Ja,
we
dis
become. We didn't also da. Dus nog buite gespeel. Ons het lekker blindemo gespeel.
Jo.
Ek weet ons het three sticks gegooi in die pad in. Ons het tokkie gespeel. Ons het maar mense se fences uitgegooi oor die mure gehaloop. Now we look at this, but now then you go to your mommy's stories or her stories.
yes.
Maar ons het ook kennertjie gespeel in die pad in. We were skipping. We played hopscotch, gooi jou persie. Ons het gatties geskiet. Ons het gemaal. Ons was we did all of those things, you know what I mean? And some kids might, I mean, if they're out in the streets, this is what they still do. But I mean, the majority of kids who have cell phones are doing what? Watching this on TikTok right now. Hallo, gaan speel 'n bietjie buite. Sy, gaan speel 'n bietjie rover met jou vriende. Wanneer laas het sy hondjie gespeel?
Hulle ken nie.
Huh?
Hulle ken
What,
nie.
you know what I mean? So, but now we don't want to be that people, but also we see this life right now. But at the same time, even for your age, who you are, you loved all of that. Are you also not consumed by your phone?
Absolutely. I think it's inevitable.
Now, this is what I'm saying. So nou sê hulle, ek sê, ek sê, fucking kind moet af die phone, is fucking heel dag op die phone. Anyways, ja. Af die phone. Listen, you can leave the phone now, no? Dan sit ek vir nog 'n 2 ure myself. Then I go, what is the problem here? Am I scared you're not gonna get the childhood? As to why I say you don't have the phone, but yeah, am I that lived all through that? I mean, I like 80s, 90s growing up and we had all that stuff. Ek is nou self diep in my phone in.
If you can give your children a childhood, please do that. It is so important because they learn fine motor skills
Yes.
and gross motor skills as well. And that's absolutely important. Instead of from school, they're on their phone. It's addictive. Please watch Mr. Charles though.
Mr. Charles.
Don't scroll
That
past
was-
that video.
Keep doing the good work, and I mean, I pray that everybody watching this, I mean, who follows Mr. Charles as well on the page, like that you guys actually become successful. What you find out what it is that you want, and like do it to your best of your ability, and like
Absolutely.
succeed. Last question before you go, listen, yeah, Mr. Charles, what amount of money is a lot of money for you? What would be a ridiculous amount of money for you to have? Like absolutely ridiculous. Like I don't want to become now a mathematician and say 70, 90, 100 billion. I mean, just on a honest scale, how much money do you think could you live a good life and to retire and never have to work again? Give your family the best possible life you have.
In South Africa, that's easy. About 30, 40 million.
Okay, 40 million rand, no? Right. So I tell you right now, Mr. Charles, 40 million right now, you turn your back on teaching, you go take this money and you love this life that you want. Number one, would you stay? Would you keep teaching for the money you're getting right now? Would you take the 40 million and dip?
Can I teach online or TikTok?
Let's just say no for now.
Sorry, my children. I'm sorry. I'm taking the money.
Guys, there you have it, Mr. Charles. Do follow him on TikTok. And from my side, you guys have a blessed day. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
Yeah, tell me you guys are feeling good this morning.